Great showing by this organization last week, topping the league in points. Moving forward, the only concern is the tight end, and with Adam Schefter reporting that Greg Olsen should only be out a few weeks, this team shouldn't have too much trouble streaming for the time being. I said last week that my only concern with this team was the bench, and the owner made sure to patch that up, grabbing a solid pickup at both running back and receiver, with TJ Yeldon and Brandon Marshall both joined the squad. Still, my confidence in this owner to eventually completely screw up a well put together roster remains sky high. The drop for this squad is less about this team underperforming and more about the top two teams looking pretty good. I mean, this team contains a stud at almost every position, whether it be Drew Brees at quarterback, Jordan Reed at tight end, or Saquon Barkley at running back. There is plenty to like here. The only possibility of a weakness is at receiver, where we can just toss it up to your classic week 1 flukiness. Suddenly, this team looks a lot better than I previously thought. My bad for forgetting that Tyreek Hill scores every single time he touches the ball. But beyond Tyreek, there's still solid options all around. And with Kareem and Evan Ingram likely to perform at least somewhat better than last week, this group looks like they have a bright future. I also just want to bring to everyone's attention that we have our very first jerk reaction Jason moment of the year, as baby Megatron Kenny Galladay has entered Verde's starting lineup. Meanwhile, Golden Tate is sitting on his bench. How will this work out? Leave a comment in the GroupMe. There's 2 questions that will decide if this team is a contender or pretender. Is Kamara, officially a Tyreek Hill level cheat code, where he can sustain this production week in and week out? And is Mahomes the real deal? Right now, it's looking like both of those questions are a resounding yes. Kevin only moves down 1, but this Fournette injury could be huge, and here's why. It's a hamstring injury for a power back that's had a history of leg problems. I will guarantee whether Fournette sits out this week or not, it will come up again, and it could be his story that lingers throughout the season. Dealing with a soft tissue injury has proven to be a cautionary tale. Wow. For the very first time in Jerry Jones' career, he will go into week 2 with a 0 in the win column. For a team that prides itself on regular season accomplishments, a fall to 0-2 could cause an uprising in the locker room. Wilson, make it happen. And speaking of Wilson, this team finds itself 0-1, but what you won't find is someone within the organization panicking. As a team that loves to pile up losses to start the year, this team feels very comfortable with where it currently lies. And it should, as this team is one of the stronger 0-1 squads. Now, of course, the question becomes, who will be placed in the recently vacated captain's throne that Delaney Walker once held? Well, for the time being, the team decided to vote Jared Cook as its new leader. Oh, God. One of the biggest risers this week, moving from the cellar to just kind of shitty. But I can see this team rising even more in the coming weeks. I mean, half of this team is pretty good. Tom Brady, DJ, Jarvis Landry, and Gronk are nothing to sneeze at. The X factor here is Derrick Henry, the high-round draft pick that greatly disappointed in week 1. But here's why I'm not panicking on Henry. New Titan head coach Matt LaFleur came to Tennessee and installed a brand new zone running scheme. And throughout the offseason, he preached the importance of getting Henry in a rhythm throughout the game for the zone scheme to grind down opponents and work. I mean, it's just like a coach getting a quarterback in a rhythm. You know, it's a short pass here, short pass there, short pass there, until the quarterback feels comfortable. Same thing with Henry. run to the left, run to the right, run to the left, consistently getting him touches until he gets into a rhythm. Well, if you don't remember, last week's game against the Dolphins was a 7-hour affair where it started, then it stopped, then it started again, and then it stopped again, and then it started. With all the delays, it was impossible to get Derrick Henry in a rhythm and use him consistently like they wanted to, forcing them to use more of Dion Lewis and almost a Plan B running scheme. I don't expect any more 7-hour games for the Titans, and I don't expect Derrick Henry to shit the bed again. Sadly, it looks like this team has been selected as the 2018 plague victim. Both starting receivers were removed from the game within the first half. Well, later that night, it appeared Aaron Rodgers was done for the year before the training staff injected him with who knows what in order for him to run back on the field and pull off the miraculous victory. And not to mention, its number 3 overall pick is holding out for the foreseeable future. There's no telling how deadly this play can get. This team was a favorite heading into last week's matchup, with both pros and Joes agreeing that this coach would have his players motivated and ready to go, knowing how important each week is this season for his job security. But it's becoming clear that maybe he's just destined to be an assistant owner for life. Hey, you're still an owner. You just don't have any final say on any roster transactions at all. It's always nice to see someone talk about how great their team is a little too early. This fan base made sure to fire at the media and commissioner for the bullshit power rankings. Once it's RB3, Jay Ajayi scored 20 points on opening night. Too bad the other 8 guys were only able to put up 60 after that. Well, Schwartzy, turns out you were right. I was wrong about your team. It's shittier than I thought.